Talk. Light Talk. Lumen Brothers. Light Talk.
Hey, this is Steve in Dallas, Texas, and today we are discussing smelly lights, scrim, accessories, all that good stuff on Light Talk.
Hello, this is Brackley in Las Vegas, Nevada, and you are listening to Light Talk.
And this is David from the beautiful Belmont Shore neighborhood of Long Beach, California. And if you don't already know, you are listening to Light Talk, and we are the Lumen Brothers.
Whoa. We have a different Lumen Brothers. Did Dad fool around or something?
Yes, Dad fooled around. We got this guy in the studio. He's got red hair. Who the hell is this guy? He's like the Farkle brother, the Farkle family. Who is this guy?
The uncle.
The illegitimate uncle. All right, now actually, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy today to have replacing Stan for the day because poor Stan is sick. I spoke to him this morning. He could hardly talk. He's got some sort of crud. And Ann couldn't do it today because she's in middle of text. So one of our closest friends from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Brackley Frayer is here with us.
Hey.
Hey, Brackley. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today. This has been a treat.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, Brackley had like 4 hours to prepare for this because it was like the last minute thing. Thank you so much, Brackley, for fitting in. We're actually, talking about having you on the show anyway. So, hey, why not? Let's do it in an emergency.
Right.
And you're kind enough to be here. And for those who don't know Brackley, and many of you do because you've seen him at LDI, you may have seen him at the URTAs. He's pretty much a major figure in the graduate lighting world. He obviously runs the program at UNLV, and he also has some other programs that he's running. I'm going to ask him to talk about a few of them right off the bat here, because we're coming up on LDI, and as we've been talking every week for the past 4 weeks or 5 weeks, is that we're going to do a show at LDI, and right before that, we're going to be helping Brackley with the portfolio review that he has organized. So Brackley, why don't you tell us a little bit about these portfolio reviews?
Yes, I'm Deanna Fitzgerald from the University of Arizona, and I are co-moderating the LDI Portfolio Review 2019. We're in our 10th year now. I can't believe that. And what we have is about 10 lighting designers from around the country are going to stop by, and on Saturday, November 23rd, from 1:30 to 4, and review students and young professional portfolios in a room to be determined later. It may be determined now, but you'll have to look on the website for that. So what it is, it's a great 15-minute slot with each one of the designers, so it's a really great way for students and young professionals to get an idea of how their portfolios, either the web portfolio or your hard portfolio, will work. So that's what we're doing on the 23rd, Saturday 23rd from 1:30 to 4. On Sunday, the next day, URTA is hosting a pop-up LDI recruitment where designers from 40 schools will be in attendance, and you can sign up through the URTA website if you want to attend that. We're looking for lighting designers, technical directors, projection designers, and sound designers for that particular event. So those are the things that are happening at LDI that I'm kind of concerned with.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wonder how many people are going to forego Chicago and rather go to Las Vegas and go to LDI instead of going to Chicago for URTA.
That's why we're hoping. We started this because we wanted to get more technical directors, projection designers, and media designers. So we're hoping we'll get more through the LDI in Las Vegas, and hopefully we'll get some more people from the West Coast schools that have a lot of good students in them.
Absolutely. I think that's really a smart thing because, as we've talked about before, I don't know, but I'd rather go to Las Vegas and go to LDI instead of freezing my butt off in Chicago. Both.
We're going to both, but yes. We're seeing, hopefully it's going to be a couple years in Las Vegas. We're hoping that we can attract a lot of students.
Right. And for those who don't know, Brackley, Steve, and Stan and I actually sort of met together as a group at the URTAs in Chicago. And we sort of became really good friends, and it was great. You know, I really didn't know Brackley that well before I met him at URTA. And we spent a lot of nights across the street from the hotel. What was the name of that building? It's like the 97th floor that we went up to. The Hancock
Tower.
building, which unfortunately now you're far away.
We're now at the Palmer House,
You're at the
which is more
Palmer
downtown
House.
within the loop.
Right, so that's cool. So there's a lot of other cool places. But yeah, we had some good times together.
Yeah, it was good.
Right. What happens in Chicago stays in Chicago.
That's true.
So that's a good thing. So anyway, everybody, welcome to episode 133, and welcome and thank you again, Brackley. It's good to have you here.
My pleasure.
Steve has our first listener question.
I do. It is from Christopher in Maine, and Christopher writes, I am a high school teacher. We just got a new lighting system. I turned them on and they smell terrible. What do I do? Well, you could check for those dead mice and frogs in there. I wouldn't worry too much about this. I think anytime you get a new light, it's not unusual for a little oil perhaps to be in the light from the painting. There could be a little oil on the glass envelope of the bulb inside it. I checked the different forums, and the consensus of opinion on the forums today was to turn your light on, turn it on at full, let it bake for about 4 hours, and it should go away for you. And if it doesn't stop, then the next step is to call your dealer. But this is just business as usual. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It might even smoke a little bit.
Yeah, that's a normal effect.
Yeah, I mean, I found it. Remember those old Altman 360Qs? I remember they used to smoke up a lot for a few hours when you first bought them, because I think the paint inside the barrel would somehow burn into bake and turn into some sort of noxious, poisonous fumes. So you don't want to breathe them. Don't suck the fumes, whatever you do. If you smell something bad, don't go up there and suck on the fume. So anyway, our next question comes from Tom in South Carolina. And Tom wants to know, why is it called Shark's Tooth Scrim? Hey, do you guys know why it's called Shark's Tooth Scrim? I do.
Okay, good.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so first of all, for the people who don't know, Shark's Tooth Scrim is a material that's developed by a number of fabric company, but Rose Brand usually sells most of it. It is a type of material that allows you to create a solid surface of the material by the way you light it, and be able to reveal everything behind it by taking all light off of that surface, off that scrim. And the reason why it's called Shark's Tooth is because the way it's weaved, there are vertical and horizontal weaves in it, that if you look closely at the weaves, they have sort of a little blade on them. It's just like a little sort of thickness, vertically and horizontally. And they have different types of Shark's Tooth Scrim too, so that may change a bit. But most of them have vertically and horizontally. And what that allows you to do is, by the angle of light that you hit it with, if you hit it with an oblique angle, I love that term, oblique. If you hit it with an oblique angle, it will light the thickness of the material and not light anything behind it, so that material looks solid. You can paint a Shark's Tooth Scrim, so you can have an image painted on it, and then when you take the light off of that scrim and you light behind it, then you will reveal what's behind it. It's magic. It's the oldest theater magic in the book, but it works every single time. Now, something to remember, and that is when you light that scrim, you want to be able to light it so that the light that continues doesn't continue upstage. So usually the best angles to light the Shark's Tooth Scrim is from the lower front or from the top front, meaning like a footlight position maybe, so that you're burying the light up, or coming down from a very sharp top light. You could also light it from the sides, but you got to make sure that light's not going to go through the scrim and hit anything upstage, like legs and things like that. The absolute worst angle you could light a Shark's Tooth Scrim with is a balcony rail angle, because what will happen is that you're coming flat from the front, and yes, you're going to light the scrim, but part of that light is going to go through the holes of the scrim and light whatever's upstage. So that's everything I know about a Shark's Tooth scrim. Oh, and by the way, that effect is called a bleed through.
Yeah, and sometimes it's interesting because if you want to project a template or a gobo on the scrim, and you have a cyc behind it, you'll get the double image of the gobo on the scrim and on the cyc, which sometimes is good and sometimes is not, depending on the production.
Yeah, it could be a happy accident.
Yeah.
How about you, Steve? Have you used these before? Have you used this effect before, Steve?
No, I still use that erosion cloth. I still, go right back to 1962, and I'll stick with a good thing.
Erosion cloth is fantastic.
The other thing that, if you're talking about scrim, then you need to also go down that journey with what's it called, darknet?
Darknet.
What is
Yes,
that?
that's what it's called, darknet.
Is that like the dark internet?
No, it's darknet. No. What darknet is a material that Rosebrand came out with a few years ago, and it's absolutely fabulous. I mean, it's totally black. It's not like Vanta black, but it's pretty dark, and it almost completely disappears. It is a scrim-like material, but it's very expensive. But it's really quite effective.
Well, the other thing with the scrim is that I really always want to have a scrim downstage of my cyc in most shows that I do for a number of reasons. Because a lot of times you want to get a nice dark scene happening, and if you don't have the scrim, you can't get that really dark background. And the scrim has a wonderful softening effect on the scrim or on the cyclorama when you light the cyclorama, but it's a wonderful dark background for most shows, and there's no seams in it. It's really a nice open weave, which is great. So I always fight for that. I always have a scrim followed by your electric with your cyc lights, and then followed by the cyc lights. So you really have that opportunity to either use the cyc or have a dark background, which is very important.
Well, also without that scrim, if you light your cyc, all of a sudden you have a red cyc, but you also have a bounced red floor.
Yep.
And with that scrim in place, it obscures a lot of the light, so you don't have as much reflection off of the cyc onto your floor.
Right, and it also helps soften your cyc, so if you have any ugly wrinkles or whatever, sometimes the scrim helps some of that go away.
Right, and it also, if you're using a black scrim, which I think Brackley is talking about, because
Correct.
if you use a black scrim downstage, you could take all the light off the cyc and you've got a black background.
That's exactly right, yes.
And that's what Brackley's talking about. But what it also does is when you do light the cyc or a drop that's upstage of the scrim, it actually saturates the colors more.
Yes,
the colors
yes.
become more saturated. And now this is, I think, of course, Stan would have the whole scientific answer here why that happens. I have a feeling so what's happening is that
it's in your retina.
It's in your retina, right? Of course, yeah. But also, I think that the light that's reflecting off the drop, some of it's being eaten up by that scrim, and therefore, I think the colors become a little richer. So it's really sometimes a beautiful, beautiful solution to a cyc that's not working.
And the other thing is, those of you that are coming to Las Vegas, another pitch for LDI or Las Vegas is that the new Cirque du Soleil show, R.U.N. or R.U.N., it's opening tonight. I saw the dress rehearsal the other night, and they used a downstage scrim, painted scrim, so beautifully. So,
oh my God!
If you want to see
is it fantastic, Brackley? Now I'm totally jealous.
It is impressive.
Which hotel is it at?
It's in the Luxor. It's in the Chris Angel old theater, because Chris Angel moved over to Planet Hollywood.
The Luxor, the worst hotel on the Strip.
Yeah,
absolutely the worst.
Once you move into the theater, you're in a different world.
That's right. Listen, I will go there just to see the show. I don't have to look at that hotel. I really think that was a disaster design, but it's a whole nother story.
No comment.
Well, you don't have to agree with me. It's just
no,
an
I
opinion.
don't. No.
All right. You like the pyramid thing? Is that what it is?
No. We stay away from the Strip as much as we can.
Okay, great. All right. So Brackley has our next question.
Okay, my question is from Doug Feinberg from Cambridge, Massachusetts. He writes, I want to get more light on the stage, but the lighting positions and lamp strengths make it difficult. What are tricks for getting lights closer to the stage? Well, guys, I don't know, move the lights closer to the stage. I don't know what the answer would be. Do you guys have any ideas?
Well, what if he doesn't have any positions that he can put them closer to the stage?
Well, I mean, the lamp strengths is kind of an easy one.
Right.
Maybe you can change the wattage in your lamp. You can go from a 575 to a 750. That might help you a little bit.
And or change the length, change the barrel if they're source 4s. Make it a narrower lamp, and they might be able to get the stage better.
Also, about a year and a half ago, we had a sponsor. It was a drone that held a moving light that could fly closer to the stage. Remember that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, that it was a drone. Actually, I forgot the name of the sponsor, but actually picked up a light and moved it, and it had a battery and everything. It was LED, obviously, and you could have a lighting position anywhere. So that's a really good thing to do. How about mirrors? We could do that old trick from that Led Zeppelin concert where they hung those mirrors and then they bounced the lights?
Elvis Presley did that also. He hung mirrors and shot.
He wore the mirrors, Elvis.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Don't be talking smack about the king.
I will not listen. A little bit of respect for the king. All right. So, especially since you're going to Vegas, what can we do, right?
And he's in every wedding chapel here, so he's not dead yet.
He's not dead yet. You're right. I should have gotten married by Elvis. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know how to answer this question. What do you think?
I think the lamp strengths, changing lamps and changing barrels might be the trick that they're looking for.
I think that's it. Okay.
And I mean, the other obvious answer is there any way you can start retrofitting some positions in? Can you hang a truss?
Yes.
Or, I don't know.
I was just thinking of a truss closer to the stage that you could hang.
Exactly.
You really need a high cove-like position, something at around 55-degree angle from the plaster line. And if you have something like that, or if you don't have something like that, then it's a matter of finding some pick points and hanging a truss. And you see that a lot in a lot of houses that tour or Broadway houses, that they have actually hung a truss. Because that position doesn't exist.
Because in the old days, when we were in grad school, the Broadway stages did not have a truss. They only had box booms. So we had to learn, I know from Tom Skelton, we had to learn how do you light the stage just with box booms.
Well, box booms
and balcony rail.
Balcony rail.
Yep. They was the only two positions. And now they all have trusses and everything else.
Yeah, it's so easy. And they're all moving
I have another answer for
What's
Doug.
That?
Okay, obvious answer. What if you put booms on stage? Can you get some side light in there?
Yeah.
Put maybe a boom that's 20 feet high. Then you've got a big, tall pipe in position too.
Yeah, like pit booms.
Beautiful.
Yeah, pit booms.
Yeah.
And you could do vertical trusses too. If you want them really solid, just make it a vertical truss. So you can make sure you tie it off from the top and bottom. And I see that a lot, actually, in a lot of theaters I work in. And that's one of my favorite positions because it's a downstage position. And you can use low side light and high side light, like Steve just said. You can get almost like a pipe end position. If you have especially if you have a strong light. If you put a mover up there, with an arc lamp or something that's at about 20,000 lumens, you're going to get a really great strong one source light, and that will solve your problem. But yeah,
you could also go completely nuts, and maybe you can put a footlight position in.
I was just
footlights they don't have to be on at full.
Nope.
Footlights are a great position. They really help fill out the faces on the actors really well. Not at full, obviously, unless you're doing the horror show.
Well, or not. We actually talked about this a few weeks ago about footlight positions. And now German lighting products, one of my favorite companies, have come out with a brand new light, the GLP Impression FR1. That's what it's called. It's a small moving light. It's really tiny. It's a full yoke unit. It's LED, and they'd be wonderful for footlights. But that's a terrific light that you can actually use it as specials. So they don't have to be like an entire strip of lights. You can use like we used to use birdies on the edge of the stage. Yeah, I mean, be clever. Try different angles and closer to the stage. Or hand the entire front row a Leica and have them just pointed at the stage. Everybody.
Yeah, with lighting design, there's no real rules. You can make up your own rules.
Yeah, as long as you don't kill anybody.
As long as you don't kill anybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You are listening to Light Talk with the Lumen Brothers. Light Talk is sponsored by
Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. Have you ever found yourself frozen at the tech table? You thought that you were on a roll, calling out channels and recording cues at a breathtaking pace, when all of a sudden, your mind goes blank. The director suddenly glares at you. Your programmer asks, "What do you want?" Your assistant moves a few seats further away from you. You are alone. Don't worry. This happens to all of us. Not really, just trying to make you feel better. What you need is Creative Mind Accelerator from your friends at Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. After a quick, easy hypodermic injection of our patented energy boost fluid, Creative Mind Accelerator will instantly jumpstart your brain into overdrive. But wait! Wouldn't a cup of coffee, a double cafe latte, or a jumbo serving of Cafe Cubano do the same? Ha! We scoff at your weak caffeinated concoctions. Creative Mind Accelerator will instantly flood your mind with ideas. Your director will be impressed with your instant artistic decisions. Fly into Mirrorball! Put Congo blue in all the fixtures. And our favorite, 1 through 500, 0. Now strobe everything. And make sure you keep some extra syringes of Creative Mind Accelerator at the tech table. Before long, everyone will want a dose. Side effects for Creative Mind Accelerator include high heart rate, uncontrollable sphincter spasms, weight gain, cramps, and ultra-high pressure urine flow. Do not take Creative Mind Accelerator after ingesting any caffeinated beverage, including Coke, Coke Light, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, New Coke, Coke Classic, Cherry Coke, Apple Coke, Mint Coke, Spam Coke, or In-N-Out Coke. And if you experience an erection that lasts over 10 hours, please see a doctor immediately. Creative Mind Accelerator. It may just save your career.
And now, back to Like Talk.
Okay, the sound of those ducks in the background tells us that once again it's time for our Let's Talk About segment. And today, since we have Brackley here, who really is an expert when it comes to Las Vegas lighting design, we figured let's talk about something that he may know something about, because believe me, it's hard to figure something to talk about that Brackley knows how to talk about it. So this is what he knows how to talk about. This is about it, right, Brackley?
Correct.
So we're talking about the challenges for theater lighting designers when training for Las Vegas spectacles. So Brackley, you've had a lot of students. How many years have you taught there?
Too many. A lot. So we've had a lot of students over the years, and we are still a theatrically based program at UNLV, but we want to make our students marketable in the industry. So we have them do things like television lighting. We take cinematography in our film department, and also architectural lighting design in the architecture school. But also, some of them do want to come and do learn more about the Las Vegas lighting scene. And so, in fact, we have one this year. She's in her second year. She's actually the assistant lighting designer for David Finn, who is the lighting designer for the new Cirque du Soleil show R.U.N. that I mentioned before. So she's actually been, for the past 2 months, working with him. They do their soft opening tonight. So she's learned a great deal about the kind of spectacle, Las Vegas Cirque du Soleil spectacles. And that's one thing she wants to do, so we can continue that in the various designers that we have in town for internships and things like that.
Well, I have a question, Brackley, because, a lot of students, they say, well, I want to do plays, I want to do opera, I want to do musicals, but I'm going to really need to focus on one of those areas. But isn't it true that no matter what you do, you're still trying to tell a story?
Absolutely. We teach them how to tell the story, again, theatrically based, but that can be translated into many, many other avenues. So I think it's important for them to know how to do that, and to either whether they do opera, whether they do dance. We have a dance program here that they invest in, as well as some of the larger elements that are out here on the Las Vegas Strip. We're about a mile away from the entertainment capital of the world, so we have great relationships with not only some of the shows like Cirque du Soleil, but some of the companies, and a lot of the programmers here in town come over and help us out. It's really an exciting place to be.
So what do you think, Steve? I mean, when you have students coming to you and say, I want to be a rock and roll designer, or I want to be a dance designer, or I want to design Vegas. I mean, is there any special curricular change that you make?
Well, it's not so much a curricular change, and both you and Brackley actually do this. I think, and Tom hit on it, we have to give them the means to learn their craft. We have to give them at least one moving light. We have to give them at least one LED. We've got to give them something that they can then scale up. So I think I think that what I've always found kind of amazing about Las Vegas and the program out there is that Brackley's right. A mile away, unlimited budgets, world famous designers, and also people who are willing to be kind and share their craft. So for me here in Dallas, when I'm looking at training event designers, then I have the resources of Verilight here in Dallas. I have the resources of High End down in Austin. And actually there's a handful, and you're going to meet them next year, there's a handful of fairly prominent rock and roll designers who live in Dallas, who are at a point in their career, if they ever had an ego, that's long gone, and now they're just kind of kind people who say, hey, let me come by and chat with your students. I've got some fun stories to tell, and let me show them some tricks on the Grand MA they may not know. So it's being able to tap into those resources rather than I don't have to have it on campus. I don't have to have a building or a room. I just have to have a Rolodex and people who are willing to share their knowledge with me.
Yeah, that's important. That's what it's all about. And having the people in the town that you're in that you can come, that you can invite over and say, hey, can you talk to the students, or can we do this? We do a moving light lab every spring where we're very fortunate to have a couple of the lighting companies just donate the lights for 3 or 4 weeks so we can play with it, and they come in and they do some master classes. We have the Grand MA. So it's all that's possible, and people are very kind, and all you have to do is ask. And 99.9% of the time, they'll say, yeah, sure, I can come over and do that. We have the programmer for R.U.N. Lives in Las Vegas, Benny, and he's one of the best Grand MA programmers in the country. So he's more than happy to come over and share his knowledge with the students.
It's funny because people ask the wrong question. They call up whatever lighting company and say, give me 6 lights, or I can't afford lights, give me lights, or will you be a donor? The alumni office calls them and says, shoot us $50 every month. I think those are dead-end requests. I think that thing about asking someone to share their knowledge, and people are always, let's face it, that's very flattering to have someone say, I'd like you to come by and chat with our students and share what you know. It's easy for them. There's no out-of-pocket expenses. I throw a taco and a beer in for lunch. So it's just a nice day or a nice week.
You never bought me a taco and a beer.
I bought you a beer up on top of that building in Chicago,
yeah,
I remember.
No, you bought me a vodka, if I remember correctly.
Right.
But thank you, and thank you very much for that night. That was lovely.
No, I think it's important to really see who's in the town that you're in, and then really don't just ask for free lights, ask for that experience, because that will serve you so well in the long run.
Steve was talking about, he was mentioning Tom. He was actually referring to Tom Littrell, who we actually taped our interview with him the other day. It's actually going to be in 2 weeks after this broadcast tomorrow. And Tom talks about this, about how it's important for students to choose schools that will give them the tools and the opportunities to experience and make connections and learn in the field. And, that's something that Brackley, I'm not doing this to hype UNLV, but pretty much it's a great thing that Brackley has, because, he's right. You've got, how many showrooms are there in Las Vegas?
A lot.
At least hundreds, right?
Yes,
when you think about
and
it.
for us, that's a curse and a wonderful thing. For the design students, for design tech students, it's great. And for our theater company, the Nevada Conservatory Theater, we want to get people in the seats. The problem is, at any one night, there's a million things happening in the city, so it's hard to have people come in to see our shows. But there's plenty of shows out there to see and to observe.
Do you think theater is dying in Las Vegas?
I don't think so. No, because we have the Broadway shows that come in every now and then as well. So
true.
So we have the Smith Center that just opened a couple years ago, and that's great. That brings in all the Broadway musicals. So I don't think so. And we've got a ton of smaller community groups going that are doing some really, really good work. Actually, the arts are growing. There's a whole art district in Las Vegas, and that's growing exponentially over the past 10 years.
And now you have a football team too.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
You may be right. Las Vegas may be the entertainment capital of the world.
Maybe so. Maybe
that's
a good line. That's a good line.
I'm going to have to
talk to the convention center. And the other thing is, we also have a lot of conventions in town, and these conventions need lighting designers. So a number of our students over the years have worked at Freeman and some of the other companies that actually help light the various events that are in town.
That's pretty impressive. That's really great.
So it's all about marketing the student. We want them to be the best lighting designer when they graduate, but also have a job.
Right. And that doesn't mean that there's one school that's really going to be for everybody. There are a lot of schools out there. You just need to identify what your needs are. I'm talking to the students here, and find out what school can give you these opportunities. So,
all schools aren't for everyone. You need to really choose which one is right for you, and you need to go find who you want to be with for 3 years and where you want to be. And that can be, there's 40 great schools in URTA, and there are also more schools around the country that are great, and one school's for everyone.
That's right. And do yourselves a favor. Come to LDI, be part of the URTA pop-up interviews, and you can meet these people. I mean, just to meet them. And, something that Steve said a few weeks ago is that you can actually try out your portfolio at the actual portfolio review on Saturday, get feedback from the responders who you're going to be talking to. Many of them are graduate school recruiters, and then change it for the next day, depending on the feedback. I think that's a great opportunity, and that's really smart of you, Brackley, to have that portfolio review on Saturday and have the URTA pop-up on Sunday. I think that will just help these students.
And the thing is that, again, the portfolio review is not really a recruitment thing. It's really just to help to teach the students and to really talk to the students about their portfolios. But if you want to do the portfolio review, you need to go online to the LDI website and sign up, because we have slots, and the slots do fill up. So we want to make sure that if you're interested, please go online and sign up.
You also give everybody a show pass, don't you?
Yes, anybody that signs up will get a floor pass for LDI.
And Brackley will take you out for dinner and drinks that night too. So
no, that's David and Steve will do that. Oh, Stan. I should say Stan will do that.
Stan is paying for dinner and drinks for everyone who comes to the portfolio review. So
because Stan is staying at my house, so
that will make Stan feel better.
It's great to have.
Oh, by the way, we're sending the swag to your house. Did you know about this? Oh,
no.
Oh, well, we have a lot of swag, and we need somebody to ship it to, so we're using your address. So if you start seeing these boxes...
Okay, and I'll take half of it.
If you want it. But some of it's coming from...
Is this Light Talk swag?
Yes, this is Light Talk swag.
Yes.
It's going to your house.
It's the best swag.
It's the only swag as far as I'm concerned.
We listen to our viewers, and we're giving them what they want.
Well, not really. All right, Steve has the final question of the day.
And it comes all the way from William in Hong Kong. And William says, do you safety your accessories? Hell yes.
I hope so, because they're heavier than the light sometimes.
I don't want to be sued.
They will kill you as well.
if I've got a top hat in the air, I'll safety that. If I have a barn door, absolutely, I safety that.
A color scroller.
Yes, there you go, color scroller. I have to admit, I do not safety my gobo holders.
No, because if they're hung correctly, they're not going to fall out.
Only if they're upside down.
Well, who would put a gobo holder in upside down?
I don't know. No, you hang the light outside.
No, but we would hang the light. Then you have to turn it right side up, and you put the gobo in the damn thing.
Oh, otherwise it won't stay in.
That's right.
I mean, William, you may be too young, but how many times have you been focusing lights, and you've called up to your focus person and say, "Hey, throw a top hat on that light," only to have it crash down at your feet? Because they missed the gel frame.
Yeah.
Yes. Safety this stuff off.
I don't think there's much more to say about that. I mean, really, always safety. Anything that has a chance to fall. And safety to light, too. Really.
Safety yourself.
Safety yourself.
Focusing.
You don't want to fall down and hit somebody, right? So, safety everything. Safety your wrenches. Safety everything. So
that means if you do start to fall, kick out, push yourself away from the focus light so we don't have to go back and refocus it.
Right, and knock the ladder onto someone else, so, when you're going down. All right, so listen, that Hammond organ solo in the background tells us that, once again, you've spent another morning listening to Light Talk. Check out our website on lighttalk.org for future guests, and be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. That way you will not miss a second of Light Talk fun.
No guarantee is offered regarding the accuracy of any statements or opinions made on this podcast.
And if you choose to litigate, the law firm of Fleck, Flock, Flare, and Glare and their paralegal Snoot will defend us until our retirement funds are depleted.
Light Talk is written and produced by the Lumen Brothers, coming to you from Long Beach, Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Republic of Texas.
And be sure to tune in next week when we discuss backlight, diffusion and frost, turning your console off, and
All that and a new sponsor.
Light Talk, broadcasting questionable Lumen knowledge and humor around the world.
so we'll see you all next Saturday morning. Bye-bye from Light Talk, and Brackley, thank you for filling in today.
Thank
It's
you.
good
It was
to
my
have you.
pleasure. Maybe I'll do it again.
We'll see you at LDI, my friends.
So long.
See everybody at LDI.
Light Talk. Lumen